And I'm going live. Welcome to the live stream today. It's not 9 out yet. Stop doing that. No, I'm not talking to myself, but I could be. Maybe I don't know. Who wants to know? Anyway, so yeah, welcome to Pro State Lawsuit Center. We provide affordable products for you guys to handle your own legal business without having an attorney in your way. Yo no me gusto abogados porque yo no pienso abogado quiere trabajo para mí. I don't really like attorneys. For anybody new who, I don't like prosecutors either. I don't really care for judges. Now, attorneys that don't do criminal stuff, foreclosure stuff, debt collection. Okay, sorry. Let's just. Okay, so welcome to this section, segment, stream, whatever we're gonna call it, and I just want to say that when I put the information, when I put the facts, the things together, the bullet points that we need to talk about, by the time I got to number 4. I was a little riled up, and then I started talking. The voices started talking to each other, and then Lily, all the voices were kind of loud. She got up and left the room. She didn't grow up in a black family. She got up and left the room. She was looking at what the hell. I don't know what's going on over there, but somebody need to be at the door when the paramedics show up. But they never showed up. They don't like coming to my place. I don't know why. Okay, sorry. Let's just stay focused. So in this live stream, we're going to talk about. So it may start to sound like I'm grumpy and I'm about to make up some people run laps. Okay, and that's when I got to number 4. That was okay, but I'm working through it. Okay. I'm working through it. I read the 4 contracts, and then I've been learning how to do the controlling of your emotional. Okay, sorry. I drank some coffee this morning, early, all day. All right, so the mistakes that 99% of the people make. Okay, 99% of the people facing the court process make these mistakes. And I don't think we need to talk about the mistakes when I throw them on the table, because I don't know. Maybe you guys see where I get a little wound up sometime when people keep saying the same thing, the same mistake, the same shit. The worst for me is when people want to talk to me about the appeals court. Oh, but my appeals court, no, I need to do the appeal. No, that is the hardest thing for me to listen to. It is. Because the appellate court never was going to help you. You never had a chance at any appeal, and you never had a chance at any appeal because judges in the administrative court where you were, you thought you were in a judicial court, but you weren't. You were not in a judicial court. You're in an administrative court. Judges in an administrative court, they do not provide a finding of facts and the conclusions of law. You need both of those. You need to find the facts and the conclusions of law, both of those, to have any kind of chance at having an appeal. Okay, so what happens when you go to the appeal? Well, they tell you, you need to have double spacing on the first 2 halves of the second 3/3 of the first page, and then you need to have like capital letters going down the side where it has your address and your number. Those all need to be capital, and fourth number needs to be Roman numeral or Roman numeral. No, I'm not talking too much. Okay, I'm letting you hear because that's what they tell you. They tell you to do all this stupid shit, jump through these hoops, and then you take it back. They make you jump through some more hoops. Has to be second capitals from the second top, 2/3 down from the bottom. All of those things have to be twice double spaced paragraph with paragraph with Spanish numerals. Okay, you see what I'm saying? I mean, all they do is just run you out of time. They know that you're not coming to that court with a finding of facts and the conclusions of law that allows them to do their job. How are they going to do their job? If they don't know what the hell the judge, why and how the administrative judge came up with, well, they know, but I'm just saying for you people who don't know, somebody knows. I know. People that got burned know. If they don't know how the judge came up with the way they rules, how can the appeals court look at anything? Oh, coach, you're saying the appeal court is shitty? Hell yeah. I'm saying the Supreme Court is shitty. And I'll tell you why. The Supreme Court is shitty because the local rules that the court follows that have been jacking you up came from the Supreme Court. Oh, coach, what are you talking about? Yeah, I know. Well, about a year ago, we figured this out and we had a live stream. Hey, we need to be adding the Supreme Court to your lawsuit using the supplemental pleading because we don't do no amending shit because the rules that the local court is using are not connected to the Constitution. They're not connected to the Constitution, not connected to federal law. They ain't connected to nothing except their dumb assholes' pocketbook. Oh, Supreme Court, we're supposed to they wear robes and all that shit, black robes. We're supposed to do this shit. No, they go home and burn shit too. They could be burning something. I mean, I don't know. I ain't pointing the finger, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, look that shit up if you don't think I know what I'm talking about. The local rules that each location makes up, is made up on a state level by the state Supreme Court for that state. And ain't none of them connected to the Constitution. You already know that because I've been punching your ass in the face and taking your shit. So you already know that. Or you should know. Maybe you don't know. I don't know. I know that some people don't know. Wait, but every time it comes time to get shit in the mail, we freak out and we don't know. We don't know, but we know. Okay, so let's just get to it. The mistakes 99% of the people make. Now, I know that there's people that are going to check down. Hang on one second. I gotta take my doggy out. Okay, we're back. Okay, so the number one thing number one mistake that people make. I mean, I could go on for a minute, but let's the number one mistake, and it's taking me a minute to put this list together. Okay, because the list is the mistakes that 99% of the people make. And my bodyguard's getting a little nervous when I get worked up. There's nobody here but you and me, and we have no drama. Okay, so relax. We only have drama if you choose women's shoes. Okay, my friend told me that if you choose any women's shoes, there's going to be a hit put out for her, more likely than not. And I thanked my friend for sparing me. So, sorry. For a second there, as a coach, you got to have a plan for everything. So, I might need to have a talk with Lily in private and let her know that if I need her to chew on any women's shoes, I'll let her know. Then we just be on the run. Okay, never mind. She. Okay. Hey, Eddie. Welcome to the show from Florida. So is that low back and Roe, are they the attorneys that's bothering anybody you know? They actually, I think most of the time they're doing. No, you go ahead. Go over there. Go over there and sit down, please. We have a little trouble figuring out who's in charge today. So right now I'm in charge. I can send her to the freezer from right here. Okay, sorry. Nobody goes to the freezer because it's full. It's full of it's just full. Okay. That's I just want to leave it right there. It's just full. It could be full of air, it could be full of whatever. I'm not saying anything Pacific because there's some people getting their butt kicked around here. Thank you for going to the show. No, that's a good guess. That's a good guess, and I'm not gonna tell you where that is on my list, but that's a good guess. Yeah, but I got something higher than that. But you know what? I'm not gonna talk. Let me think about how I want it. Let me talk to my people for a minute. Just hang on for a second. Okay, sorry. Maybe I should turn the camera off. Do I look? The government said I was crazy. Okay, they said I was crazy. They sent my ass back for a forced mental case to the mental institute. Yeah, but in North Carolina with a forced medication order, so maybe. All right. I'm just gonna throw it out on the table. Okay, and anybody that comes up with something close to what I throw on the table, after I throw it on the table and we stall some other time, and if they can figure out what I'm going to throw on the table next, then I'll hook you up with something free. Especially the people that came here earlier, that've been here. Oh, Blue Sky, kangaroo courts. That's we're gonna have to line that up as well. You can have like number one, then you can have still number one. Kangaroo courts. Yeah, we got verification that the court's a circus. It's a kangaroo circus court. No, I like that. I want to leave that up there just for a minute. Okay, so now when I throw this on the table, some people are going to be, and some people who hung up on me or got pissed off or got mad because I didn't want to listen to what they thought I needed to hear. Okay, some of those people are going to be like, "Oh, damn." I'm just saying. Okay, and then some of the people in the future who I don't have time to hear stuff, then they're going to be, hopefully they'll see this and they'll understand. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to the time. The time. They're running your ass out of time. You got to get your ass to work. You ain't got time, and nobody got time. It's about the. Okay, so when we're talking, it's about time too. So if we're going to be on my program, when I can help you with all of the stuff that all of the people, the real-time feedback from all people in that, whatever, then my time is more precious than your time because I got a line and I have to decide, and it's sad, but that's the way it goes. So it gets down to the time, all the way down to, did you watch the updated instructional videos? Did you watch because when you communicate with me in the coaching group or on then those are the questions I'm asking because I don't have a whole lot of time. And the idea here is to help jumpstart the idea here is to help you learn how to jam your emotions, your action, jumpstart and do all of this stuff in a very short amount of time. Oh, damn, we're back to time. Because y'all has been in their program, in their conventional system for a long ass time. Now I'm starting to sound like one of those. Oh, wait a minute. Those people never made the circle come around. The people in the mental institution. Okay, so let's just start. Yeah, that's back to the kangaroo courts with oh damn. Funny how this is lining up like this. Because wait, I'll start with someone who knows me, and okay, this is lining up. I got some team members right here, possibly, I think. Okay, I'm sure all of you guys are team members. I'm not supposed to say I. Oh, I'm not sure who that is. I'm assuming Blue. I'm just gonna call you Blue because I have a problem with Sky. Anything with the S word comes out. Okay, never mind. I don't say. I don't. Okay, so as and this is good. This is good. Of course, this is kind of in their system thingy, because we okay. So let's just get to the main thing in my head, and if anybody can trump this, I'll hook you up with something. If you're still in the program and we haven't yelled. No, if you invested in the program and we yelled at whatever. Anyway, so if you're here you guys are going to be like, what the hell? Okay, so the number one mistake, 99, no, it's got to be 99. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And these are one of the things that Dr. Corey's program, 99%. That's what I'm thinking, damn, I want to hear that. 99%. I don't know. Could I be that? Could I be that? Okay, sorry. Not the number one mistake. And oh, damn. Commercial break brought to you by winningcourtnow.com. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we hurry up to that one because that one's mine. I can rush through it if I want to. All right, the number one mistake is people thinking that you have rights. Okay? That's what I'm throwing on the table. That's the number one mistake that people make, is thinking that you have rights. People thinking you have rights. I need to I need to relax. Before I have to call one of these guys on my shoulder. Okay. Or girls. Could be a girl. Hi, y'all. Seriously? Could be. Thinking that your ass has rights. Now, you do have some in a judicial court, but your ass not in a judicial court. You're not in a judicial court. If you did, you'd have rights. If you did, you'd have rights. There wouldn't be a court if you was in a judicial court. There would not be a court if you was in a judicial court. There wouldn't be here, and there wouldn't be shit. There wouldn't. Okay, just work with me here. There wouldn't be a hearing if it was judicial, because everything they're doing is based off of statutes and codes that the state level pulled out of the Supreme Court. I worked hard not to say ass. There's no, it's not a judicial court. The rules, we talked about that at the top, came from over there, across the street. Well, up the street a little ways. They ain't connected to the Constitution. Everybody thinks they have rights. Okay, so, coach my ass. All right? Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you what your rights are. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm black. I've been in this black skin. Yo soy mexicano muy prieto. Okay? Cada día. Every day of my life. People think they have rights. And when I tell you this, if you think if you think I got this shit down, then y'all need to click some shit and send Doneto. I don't know. I can't say do stuff because they get, okay. You think you have rights. You have the right to shut the F up. Oh, sorry. Let me put that in. No offense to white people. Okay. Let me put that in white people language. You have the right to remain the hell silent. And anything that you say will be used against you against you in a court of law. I could go on. I'm not reading it from a little thing. I don't have to. Does that make you think? You think that the court is fair? That's the next one. Everybody thinks the judge is going to be fair. The judge getting paid by those assholes who made you think you have rights. Okay, so, coach, what the hell does rights shit got to do with it? I do have rights. No, you don't. You have one right, and that's the right to shut the hell up. I mean, be silent, because anything that you say will be used against you in a court of law. Okay, so I play football and I boss. I'm not that smart. I got hauled off to send me back to. So exercising my rights. Okay, I no wait. If they're gonna tell me when they arrest me that I have the only right is the right to shut the hell up, then I think I'm gonna shut the hell up and get the hell out of here. That's what I'm saying. That's why we don't spend no time talking about shit in state court. We don't spend no time talking about shit in any appeals court on any level. Okay? Because if your ass is in the appeals court, then you should have sued somebody's ass down here where it matters. Because the appeals court, their job is to run your ass out of time. And when your ass is out of time, they all already know. Before they check your ass out the back door, these assholes over here are already ready. Bam! Hit the thing on the computer thing and send that shit out. And your ass got realtors, all these people calling you up in your face, walking up in your shit, taking pictures and shit already before you even know that, that the appellate court, the higher court up there, they screwed you over too. A whole bunch of times. They screwed you over when you got there. They screwed you over while they kept you to give those people a time to get the other people that they're already screwing over through their process. That's the only reason why they ain't got your ass yet. You think you have rights. You got the right to shut the hell up and go sit down. Or, you can make your own damn rights just like they're doing. That would give you the right to punch their ass in the face with their own shit. How do you stop the court process, Coach? Oh, we've been simplifying that. Ever since I got my badge. My birthday's coming up. I don't have no years. How to stop the court process is what we do. And for the people who don't figure that out, your asses have a headache, a hard time, whatever. Those are the people who think the shit's fair, who thought it was fair. They already know it's not because they've been getting punched in the face and they're about to take their shit, but they still think it's fair. They just can't get the head out of that guillotine that they trained you to put your head in while indoctrinated you. Because it's different than training. It's been indoctrinated to believe that all this legal, I study law. This ain't about law. This don't have a damn thing to do with the law. The laws are over over where our rights are under statutes at large. Those are where our rights are under the Constitution. Oh, they rub that shit. Who knows about that? Too many people know about the statute at large, and that's where our rights are before they did what they did now and are doing what they're doing now with statutes and stuff. Statutes and codes are not valid laws. They don't have enacting clauses, titles, or bodies. They're not what the Constitution meant. Oh, the Supreme Court says they are. Oh, my phone might start ringing and people complaining that I'm talking shit on the Supreme Court in every state. How about that? There I said it. Thinking that you have rights. You don't have any damn rights. The only right that you can get is the right to punch these people in the face doing something in a non-conventional program where you're holding their ass accountable. Okay, Coach. So how you stop the court process? Any court process. I'm just going to throw it on the table because I'm talking shit. I got people getting the program off. There's all those videos. There's 9,000. There's I invested in a $50 package. There's like 17 documents, Okay, so those people didn't listen to the conversation that we had before they made the investment. In that conversation, I tell them what you're going to do is stop the state court process. Now, we used to stop that process by adding federal case law in all of it and everything that we filed in federal court or in state court, because state court can respond to federal case law with statutes and codes, because statutes and codes are not valid laws. Yeah. Okay, but some people had a hard time explaining that. So now we stop the state court process or any court process, because you can be in federal court and you can stop that court process and then move into another court across town to another, whatever that was. So don't be trying to check down on this, okay, until you understand. Stop the state court process. You stop we've been, you can ask Nicole, you can ask Henry, you can ask Dr. Honig, man, you can ask the girl from Sarasota. Yeah. We stopped the state court process by adding the players to the action. If they file a case, if anybody files a lawsuit against me, okay, the hell with it. I'm giving legal advice. They can come and kick my ass if they want to. If anybody files a lawsuit against you, the easiest way to crush that shit is to just do a counterclaim. Counterclaim to ass or RICO. You ain't even got to be specific, because we ain't trying to be specific anyway. We want to leave the door open in case they want, they might not want to do that shit. Why bust your head and do all that shit? Because when you come in with the shit we bring to the table, judge is going to be out the back door, and then they'll be sending you a notice or sending a notice to do this, a notice to do that. Ain't signed by the judge. No, we already got that shit going down. Not signed by the judge. Stop the state court process. You add the state to the counterclaim in the package that you get from winningcourtnow.com, going across the bottom of the screen right there. You add the state, you add the judge that's being paid by the state. In the hood, we look at it different. In the hood, you want to take out the money, which would be the state. You want to take out the hitman or woman, which is the judge. And you want to take out the snitch. To set that shit up. Now, if you're in the eviction process, there might be, whatever, but everybody wants to add all these. Well, why would you need to do that? If I can sue 5 people and get 100 million or 200 million, why would I need to add 10 more people? Oh, now do you see why we don't add all of those people? Okay. This is probably going to be my second one underneath the sub one from the last one. Now, if you paid attention, okay, you understand what the sub one was. Because we talked about the main one with the sub one, and then we're going to the second one. Second one is not the sub one of the first one. Y'all keep up. Okay, so this one actually was the second one, but I talked about the other one, so it got the sub one. These guys are working it out. They working it out. Addressing this is 99%. Addressing the what, not the why. 99% of the people are trying to address the what. The what is they're kicking your butt. Not the why. We don't address the what. We mention the what while we kicking their butt, but we kicking their butt on the why. The why they're able to violate you in the first damn place. Why? Because if you don't get the why, you're going to keep getting punched in the damn eye. Think about it. And we talked about that at the top of the show. Oh, they come in, with statutes and codes, non-violent laws, the local rules are not connected to anything except these people's pocketbook and buying, Oh, should I address that, or should I address what I thought the servicer did, or what the HOA people did, or the fact that I'm getting sued for the wall being missing on one side and it's my fault because I blew up some dynamite or something. Okay. None of that shit matters and will ever matter if you're in this other program. Okay, that shit matters when you want to create arguing, basically, because that's how their conventional program works. You got to have all these facts, you got to have all this shit lined up, and you got to convince the judge that your facts are true and right or whatever, so they won't throw your ass out sooner than later, because that's where you're headed in the program. I'm going to throw your shit out because they're in administrative court and they don't give a shit about nothing you bring to the table. They don't give a shit about how you felt or none of your stuff or your shit getting thrown out in the yard. They don't give a shit about none of that. And this is why we do things different. All they give a shit about is their own asses. Their shared liability. We force them to visualize the shared liability. Oh, especially when you come in with the RICO. Oh, the RICO is fire bad ass because they don't all have to understand exactly what everybody was doing. All they have to do is, well, they're aware of it and they didn't do shit, then they're considered a co-conspirator. And the federal government is the one that came up. The RICO manual's on the website. I dropped it down to a lesser price. It's on the website. Right there. The federal, that's what we're running shit from now. We got 4 people that stopped the eviction process. 2 of those people, the sheriff went back twice, and they're still in the house. And Dr. Honigman, she got kicked out of court in a wheelchair. Oh, she was shaking her finger at the judge when the security ran right by her to go protect the judge. Okay. Yeah, I was pretty excited that she that was a nice white girl got kicked out of there in a wheelchair. She's still in her house. We can laugh and talk shit or whatever, but she's still in her house right now. So there you go with that. So I got a couple more on the list, and then we're going to say hi to everybody. And okay, so thinking that you're in a judicial court, that's another big one, that because I tell people, oh yeah, and then they turn around and start talking about the appellate court. Oh, that's the worst thing. Damn. You know who I am. Not the appellate court. That's going down. Thinking you're in judicial court that's going to follow the rules with a judge that's going to be fair in a process that's going to respect. Oh, see how we're going back and forth right here? That's how I understand everything anyway. I do. Some people don't. Some people only go back. They don't come forth. They just go back. And they're always looking back. And I tell those people, y'all ask me to stop looking back. When you're looking back, you're talking about the past. Now, that would be relevant if what you are going to be doing or should be doing or are doing is what you did then you can look back. But no. No, don't be looking back around here. Somebody, as you tell my kids, you start looking back, somebody going to step on your back to get in front of the line. Or you might turn to a pillar of salt. I had one guy typing something one day, and I was already looking up because he was already being like a butthead. So I was already looking at my picture, and when he typed in the pillar of salt, I posted the picture. Oh, and that pillar of salt, I think, is a woman. And unless you're a woman, you're going to really be jacked up. Thinking you're in a judicial court. Now, the one thing that I'm going to leave as a positive thing on this, and we figured this out with Dr. Honickman when she was in there fighting for in her wheelchair, okay, not in the hearing, but in another trip to the court to get shit filed. And they were sending her all over the place. And they didn't want to do her RICO. Oh, they did not want to do her RICO counterclaim. They was, So they sent her to this other office down the way. And they were like stalling. They were like stalling. She thought they were trying to run her out of time so they could like start shutting the building down or whatever. And so, I was talking to her, and I was trying to look, I would just leave it. No, they already had it back there looking at it with all these other people trying to figure out how they're going to get out of it. So, and that we're talking on state level. So she's left it. And at the end of the day, you're on camera, they're on camera, accepting your document. The clerk does not have judicial authority to refuse anything that you filed. They don't. They're supposed to let, but they have their check down for the local rules. Now, okay, so what we did was, to get them to send her off on the goose chase to buy her more time was we had her demand that a judicial clerk come down and file her paperwork. And boy, she's like, no, I want a judicial clerk. I can hear her. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that the administrative clerks are the ones that's doing this stuff, so they can do whatever they want. No, that's the program in their administrative. And in the judicial, a judicial clerk is supposed to be the one following that shit because they're going to make sure that they're not jamming you up for a bunch of stupid shit like they're doing now and throwing our cases out. That tripped them up. We might have to put something together after there's something demanding that, and when you go down there, they told her the judicial clerk is upstairs in the judge's chambers. Shit, I'm like, shit, don't get that son bitch down here. Don't get his ass down here. Okay, so they got twisted up. So they used the judicial clerk as the judge's assistant. I don't know what the hell they have to do because the judge ain't doing shit anyway, just denying everything. So I don't know. Anyway, but that's so y'all should be demanding that the judicial clerk come. No. May I help you? Are you a judicial clerk? It took too long to answer. Next. I'm having interviews to see who wants to get sued with the rest of these people. And when you guys rotate to the line, please sign and please leave your name and your address on the pad over there because we want to start with the most expensive houses. Work. Okay. Now I'm going to get one more in before I stop and then I'm going to see what y'all come up with. Okay, I got one more. that I want to get in. I need to take a sip of my tea before. I'm checking on my security dog over there. She's relaxing. If I get too wound up, she gets a little. She's still, these two are the ones in charge. Okay, so she don't have to worry about that. If they get out of control, then I'll just close the door and Lena head out to lunch or dinner. And we'll just let them work it out. They have them call me when they're done. Because this is a drama-free zone right here. So y'all waiting for the last. Okay, all right. The last one. And this is one that just kills me too. Oh, I got some more on the page, but and if I look at them longer, then I'll be switching them around. All right, but I'm just gonna stick with this one. Thinking that the judge is going to be fair. Oh, Lord have mercy. Thinking the judge is going to be fair. I have people in bankruptcy court still thinking the damn judge is going to be fair. Okay, you're wasting your time in bankruptcy court. If you call me and talk about bankruptcy court, I'm going to hang up on you faster than I hang up on you if you're talking about the appeals court. I am. Because the bankruptcy court is even worse. It's totally worse. And any decision made in the bankruptcy court is pending a contractual obligation. So, which has no constitutional rights. And if you jack up and you miss a payment, now they can take your shit without even going through the court or anything. They have all that right in there. Nobody takes the time to read that. Judge is not going to be fair, because if the judge was fair, and this this is my legal opinion, and anybody that don't think it's right, come on to the show and explain to people why the hell I don't know what I'm talking about. If the judge was going to be fair, you wouldn't be there. You wouldn't. If the judge is going to be fair, you wouldn't be there. So the system is set up by them to do what they're doing to you while they're judges. Oh, wait. Okay, so I'm from the hood. So, if I'm thinking about somebody being fair, okay, who's paying them? Because everything is motivated by money. Well, almost. There are some crazy ass people that on YouTube. Okay, who pays? It's the person that's getting paid throwing your ass under the bus for the person for the corporation that's paying them. Oh, the judge going to be fair? I said, so many people have their head in their evidence. I got evidence, coach. I got evidence. You got the right to shut the hell up. Because none of that matters. You have no chance in state court, because in my professional and legal and ethical and black ass opinion, it was structured to do exactly what it's doing to all y'all asses, not just to black people, everybody. I know. Somebody tell me that I'm mentally ill. Because I am. I'm going to agree with you. I am. Putting up with this shit, and I had enough. But, this is my therapy right here. Working with the people in this classroom, teaching people how to do this shit every day so I don't become a hater. No, I actually, I think I enjoy it quite a bit. So, those are, now you stop and you take all those things out and you get in my program, then you would be able to just file a document without worrying about understanding everything in it, or worrying about there might be a discrepancy in it, or worrying about not knowing the names if the coach did this, as a personal, as a project, and not understand the names in it. Those, it's like I don't think there's too many people here. I don't know, maybe there is that would do things the way that I've learned how to do them from the real time feedback from everybody. That's what drove me to these places to learn and do what we're doing was the real time feedback from everybody. I'm talking from California all the way to New York. I mean, I have people I've been calling from Alaska and be from Alaska and invited me and my family to come. If I'm ever in Alaska, they told me I have a place to stay. But I had to tell that young lady know that Black people don't go to Alaska. And my ex-wife I was still married at the time. It was elbow on me. I'm trying to be honest. My ass ain't going to Alaska. Okay, no offense against anybody from Alaska, but I live in Kansas and it's damn cold enough right here. Yeah, what's up, Eddie? And yeah, I think we need to be talking. I think we got a call set up. Yeah, we was at the top of the show talking about the mistakes that 99% of the people make. Yeah, trusting the bar attorney was that's on the next. I have one more that I want to put underneath this one, but I'm going to save it and put it in this one. Trusting the bar attorneys. That would be fifth. It would be fifth if I hadn't thought about the 1/6 I want. No, but that's an important one. So I'm just gonna throw that one on the table right now. And if you trusted a bar attorney, I have a legal malpractice lawsuit package on the website, and I think it's really inexpensive right now because I love for people to use it. And it's going after them for breach of contract. And a few other things. Okay, but the breach of contract is the first one that jams their ass up because they violated their fiduciary duty and a whole bunch of other stuff when they threw you under the bus. Or when it didn't help you crush their ass. So maybe they didn't throw you under the bus. They were smooth as no. That looked like there's some pebbles in that. I didn't. Okay, sorry. I need to stay focused. Kangaroo courts. That's by size of it. We don't never like to go in court, and that's why we stop the court process. Because by the time they get around to having your happy ass in court, happy asses, or pissed off asses, whatever your asses are, okay, they already decided how the shit's going down and what they're going to do. All that shit's already decided. They decide that shit over there at desk number 1. Okay, sorry. I'm supposed to be serious. Serial, but I have a badge. Okay, so then I don't have to be serial if I got a badge. Yeah, people that follow the traditional process, they end up, yeah, the judge is going to say, yeah, they got judicial power because they're not about to say they don't. Even when you sue them, they're not going to admit that. Because that would open the door for all of the people and all of them. Now you see the stinking carrot. The carrot's not your happy ass. They don't give a shit about you. They care about everybody else finding out what they've been doing. That's what they care about. And that's why, paying for the premium service and having our channel put these people's stuff and then right out there make videos, like we did for the eminent domain situation. And now these people are on trial right here on YouTube with the documents that they're trying to use to jam your ass up. And they just look, I don't know. I emailed that video out to all of those people, all of the people in the federal court, the people in the state court, in the area where they're doing this intermittent. So everybody can see it. And so now they're all considered co-conspirators if nobody steps up to put an end to that shit. And yeah, and then I have another young person that's using my stuff, and that person was a little worried about the attorneys just doing whatever they wanted. So I made a lawsuit for professional defamation. And if Mr. Mr. Lowback and roll, Lowback. If you guys go ahead and go forward with the stuff that you're doing in Sarasota, then I'm just going to go ahead and file my lawsuit in federal court against you guys for professional defamation. Because if you're objecting to what I put in the paperwork for that family over there, and you already told everybody in the email that you sent out, Mr. Lowback, that I was violating the laws because I wasn't licensed to practice law in the state of Kansas or the state of Florida. You could have just put the rest of the states in there if you wanted to, but I guess you decided to be nice. Okay, but what the problem is, I am licensed, and I gave my own ass a license. It's on the website. Yeah, that's going right across. I dropped the price for the federal bar card too. Right, just going across this right there. I got that. Yeah, I have a license, and so that means that you professionally defame me by saying all this shit that I didn't have a license. You're going to report me to these attorney generals. Okay, I'm not part of your system, so attorney generals don't have no judicial authority over my ass anyway, so I don't even know why y'all ask on with that stupid shit. Okay, so, but here we are now, and so if you oppose what we got going on against the homeowner association in Sarasota, then I'm just going to file my, and then I need to figure out a way to use that against everybody that uses my stuff. If the attorney objects to my stuff, then they're punching me in the face with defamation, professional defamation, saying that my stuff is shit. Oh, wait. Coach Ashley, who's still in her house, will add her to the list, said that her attorney that she paid told her I was a quack. But I wasn't quacking loud enough for her to believe it. So, but here's the thing. It don't take a whole lot of research to start figuring out that the shit that we're doing here is pissing them the hell off. If your ass ain't pissing them off, you need to throw your shit in the yard. I'm just saying. I'm a quack. I am. They said I was. They couldn't medicate me because I appealed that shit from the medical facility on the federal level. Oh, you appealed it, Coach? Mm-hmm. How'd that work out? Because you said no, they didn't. They didn't provide to find the facts or conclusions of law. But oh no, I guess when you're I'm not going to say an asshole or nothing. Okay. When you're willing to do whatever the hell it takes, things change. And in that case, that was the only option I had to get the hell out of the mental institution. Apparently, no one really wanted to sign to have me force medicated. They just did that as a trick, and I have the transcripts. And at some point, I'm going to go back and address that shit. But, the state courts in other states can't do shit to me without having the federal government come and get up in my ass. And I don't know. I mean, if the federal government wants to kill them, they need to bring that shit on. I ain't hiding nowhere most of the time. So the fact that I haven't sued their ass yet for all the shit that they, but I did put the stuff together for my ex-wife to go after their ass, for what for what for what they did to her. No, she didn't have this book in prison. Something happened to it every time I break it out. My dog takes off. I think she knew she got this off of the table where we're supposed to put the women's shoes when they come in the house. The women, remember we talked about the women. Okay, never mind about the women's shoes. Yep, you're in administrative court, so it have no judicial authority whatsoever. But they're not going to sit down until the absolute last minute. Or wait, so what happens? Okay, this is a good question. I like to, because this is what happens. No, so most people get their head twisted because they're like, okay, coach, do I win? We're not trying to win. We're trying to make them. We need to make somebody tap. It only takes one person to tap out. That's a timeout. I don't know how to do the tap out thing because I ain't never done that. I boxed for 5 years. I ain't never had a tap out. Okay, you only need one person to freak out and start considering the liability and what's, because when you come to the table with RICO, once the parties are served, you can do the notice of preservation document and seize all of their shit. You can seize the judge's courtroom, the judge's office. You can seize the judge's telephone calls, communications, emails about, dude, you can see all their house. You can seize all of that stuff because according to RICO, the federal government put this shit together to jam these people up. I had no idea. That's the bam. Everything can get seized until they figure out what's dirty and what ain't dirty. Okay, so everything is dirty if they're doing RICO, and they're going after people and taking their shit using statutes and codes that aren't even valid laws. They're not valid laws. They don't have any acting clauses, titles, or bodies. Or wait, the HOA going after people with their covenant bullshit, whatever, CCR, SSN, whatever. They're like statutes and codes, and then you have another check down, ordinances, and then you got another check down to the HOA stuff, and the HOA shit. All they're trying to do is just lean jump. They're lean jumping. That's what they're doing. They're trying to lean jump, and it's totally illegal. Totally illegal. But all the attorneys, bar members, assholes kissing up to them. That means the realtor people, all the other, no, not all the realtor people though. Some people get out when they figure it out, are all in on it. And they have no judicial authority to be doing any of that. So what do? Well, for me, I used to work out a lot. I mean, I still, but why have to keep doing all that shit? Okay, when you get old, you start looking at shit differently in two ways. Some ways you look at it in a negotiating situation, but not in this legal shit where these people are. They ain't negotiating over here. These are the ass-kicking ways that we look at shit over here. Mm-hmm. We add their asses to their own shit in the counterclaim. And now they can't represent each other. They can't litigate a case they're a party to, and they can't. And if you want, and if you want to be, they can't. Or other people from the same. Now you want to be a total butthead. You can add the state bar association, and now no state bar associates can actually help them in federal court. Oh, wait. No state bar association people can help their ass in federal court anyway because they don't have a federal bar card or they don't statute in code. Oh, bam. Those two little check downs right there save your asses from a lot of headache and stress running around trying to put shit together when all you need to do is just stop that shit and then get your shit filed over in federal court. And then you want to take a certified copy of the entire state court docket sheet, over to the federal court as your evidence to show that not the what, remember? Not the damn what, the why. The why they were able to violate your ass in the first place. Why were they able to violate you? It wasn't because of a leak they thought was, it wasn't because you drove through the garage and tore. It wasn't because they were able to violate you because they dragged your ass in their shitty ass system that's structured to rip away your due process. Right. So you're there, stuck there through acquiescence. You're stuck in their shit through acquiescence because we've been indoctrinated. We talked about that at the top of the show. We've been indoctrinated to believe that those assholes in the black robes are fair and we have to be nice to them and say your honor and shit. No. I don't even put respectfully bullshit on the paperwork because I ain't respecting none of their bullshit. As soon as you come in kissing their ass, they move your shit over closer to the door. And outside the door, there's no steps. It's about 3 miles down to China. Donde yo pienso muy caliente. They take, and see, this is what we teach people, which is what you learn here, how to take jurisdiction. Now ask them for it, because when you ask them for it, okay, then they got to agree that they have it or don't have it. And what do? Stall your ass out. That's what they do. Unless you get out of that system and then hold all of that shit against them over there. It's shitty over there too. Okay, don't think because you ain't been on there. I spent a lot of time in federal court. I know it's shitty over there too. Okay, but if you learn the principles that you're learning here, when you get over there, they're not gonna want to. If they do, then you just add there. Just throws me under the bus. Supplemental pleading. That's how you don't ask to amend shit. You do a supplemental pleading, add the judge right to it in the same case. Or, you got money, you can Now, you have to demand that they respect your right. Your right that you're not going to take. You're not going to agree to the right to shut the hell up. You're not. I did it, and that's it cost. I look back, it costed me, and I think that was also a big reason why I ended up getting divorced because, my wife ended up, my ex-wife, whatever, Carrie, I'm just gonna call her Carrie, ended up spending, 6 years, 5.5 years locked up and being treated like an animal. You can't tell me, it changed me going through what I went through. How did it change me? Well, when you're talking to me about the appeals court bullshit or whatever, and I was like, I don't even want to hear it. I mean, I just get to, because you're wasting your time. When you're talking to me about, the people that contact me and they keep looking forward, even if you don't understand looking forward, there's a difference. then it works out. It works out a lot better because, it's like, I can't hang up and let you believe that shit. Okay, so that's the conflictual situation that we have when you call me or whatever, or you get a coaching thing and you keep wanting to talk about how your stuff is different. Everybody's shit is the same. Only difference in the classification is the fake ass criminal and the silverware. You just take your shit based off there. And the criminal on the federal, no. Federal statutes are not valid laws either. They don't have enacting clauses, titles, or body. Look that shit up. And people get their head twisted around and what, and they doc. My dogs. Lily. She's over there like sleeping, but she's dreaming or something. What's she doing over there? Lily. Oh, don't look like she's having a heart attack. I don't know what she's doing over there. State court process currently frozen over her. Bam. Uh-huh. I think. I mean, I like this metalhead. But you should put some fire in the first because it caught on fire before it got frozen. So I'm just going to tell you, when you learn how to look at this whole situation from a different perspective, and after being locked up, I already figured out that the case law that they expect you to use is shit that they ruled on and put together in their system, and it ain't going to help you. And it ain't going to help you anyway because it ain't got shit to do with law. What they're doing has nothing to do with any law. It has to do with illegal fraud. Okay. Oh, man, that's pretty badass. Thank you very much. Now, you should send me a review video so I can post it in the review video playlist. And I'd like for other people to send me review videos too. I like a review video from the beginning when you just got your stuff, when you got the documents, the power that you, whatever. And then I like a second video about how they act when you took the stuff down there to punch them in the face with it. Okay, and I don't really care about the third one because most of the time there's no third one review video because they require that people sign a non-disclosure statement, which is totally fine with me because the goal here is stop the court process. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I need to go and start my dinner. I thought that was Lily making noise over there. Maybe it was my stomach. I don't know. I got to double check. Oh, I'm having some air fried wings tonight. So if anybody's in the neighborhood, stop by. I have at least one extra. Half of one. Okay. If you stop by, I'll give you two halves. Okay. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. I got to get out here and go get my dinner started. Now, tomorrow we're going to have another stream, and we're going to be talking about the new residential property tax package and the new commercial property tax package. Now, we had the commercial tax package. I've been building it up and putting extra stuff in it. So the people that invested in it in the last few days got to get the ching chang for not a lot of chang chang, but it's changing now. So the people that are interested in the residential will have opportunity to. It's on sale for like $400, and we don't need as many. The commercial or property tax package is the package that people are invested in that have commercial properties, they have a commercial building or warehouse, or people that are coaches or attorneys that want to do this and help people get their deed out of their office. That's the goal of everything that we do around here. Well, the number one goal. I mean, unless you're in criminal, then that's a different goal. Okay. Get your deed out of their office. Without your deed in their office, they can't reclassify your property for taxes. Without your deed in their office, I don't think they can verify that there was a mortgage loan against your property if your deed wasn't registered in their office. I know. They both they're saying that I sound crazy. Okay, but let me ask you this. Okay, so you already owned your property before. All right. So look at it this way. I like to keep it simple. If there were several people who own property, all of those owners would have to be present to sign the lien, right? Mm-hmm. They're talking, so I didn't want to wait for y'all. Okay, so the fact that the alleged lender accepted your signature on the proof that you own that shit already, and I smell stink. And then the statute for property transfer in all of the states says that deed is supposed to be delivered and it's not conveyed, yada yada yada, until it's delivered. Those are all the fancy words that I had to look up in the dictionary. But that's not what they did. They registered your deed, and they call it constructive registration, and they registered your deed in their office. And so I had a couple of clients back that was like, I was, double checking everything. I'm like, wait a minute, what's constructive mean? Okay, I looked that up. Constructive registration means that they're going to ignore everything about that property before it was registered. We ain't going to talk. Nobody want to talk about none of that shit. What shit, coach? I got it. They don't want to talk about the fact that it was private property before it got there. They don't want to talk about the fact that the Constitution says not once, but in two different places that your private property is not to be taxed. They don't want to talk about that. And once they registered the property, that allowed the reclassification of your property from private property to commercial, residential, or agricultural for the sole purpose of taxation. And now the lender can use that. Okay, wait. The lien doesn't give anybody the right to shit. It doesn't. And if you check the paperwork, it never was a contract because your asses were the only signature that signed on it. I know, but before you left the table. After you left the table, some other shit happened. Okay, but that's the fraud part. They turned it into a security, which is a large check. That's the sound black man look at it. It's a large check and processed it through the Federal Reserve for electronic credits. Now, Modern Money Mechanics says that they got paid. Now, Modern Money Mechanics wrote this publication, this book, whatever. I read part of it. They said that those people were granted 9 times the amount that went into a demand deposit account. I have another dude that buys these properties on the bank level before they even get to, and he says there's 21. They get paid 21 times. I'm just like, we need to move on. Ow. Process is frozen. We got quite a few processes frozen, especially when we whipped out the RICO shit to stop the eviction process. Eventually, everything's gonna be Rico. It's gonna be a Rico. Okay, never mind. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Welcome to the show, and yeah, we got it going on, and we learning from the real time feedback. But I'm going to have to. Oh, so we also have the workshop. We moved it to next Saturday. I think it's the 13th. I don't know. You have to check it. We moved it next Saturday because I already made an appointment to help my niece do some shit this last weekend. And I ran a craft show. And she makes these roses things all over everything. And people thought I really made them because they was asking me about my nails. I was like, no, I don't have nothing to do with it. Oh, we'll talk about my nails another time. I need to go eat right now. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So send me an email, man, if you have any questions about our program. And Eddie, you should call me like in a couple hours or tomorrow. I think we have a coaching sessions set up. So, and I do that for, if you invest in my program, then I do coaching if it's something that, I charge $25 a cash app, and then you'll call me and I answer all your questions. And I try not to make you go run laps when you call me. Okay. But you got to understand that if I don't think that you can get all of this, then I'm going to make you run a lap. So no, so when you do your homework and you come to the table with your ideas or and this is how I do the coaching. Okay. I don't like to talk to people when the day they get shit in the mail or they find out that I already know what they're going to do to you. And that's how you put the program together. Right? And it doesn't do any good to talk when you forget that they're not going to, okay, great. You know what? We're just going to go sit down now. They're going to push it until they die because they ain't used to getting punched in the face. They're not used to getting punched in the face. So it works out better for me for coaching if you figure out what it is they're doing, look that shit up. I'm not talking about on the first 2 pages. Figure out why they're trying to do what they're doing and what you need to do to counter what they're trying to do. And then when we communicate, hey, coach, this is what they said. This is what I think they're trying to do. This is what I think Now, in my head, all of my heads, we have an idea where you're at, which allows us to help coach you, to tell you, hey, okay, good. You might want to do this or do that, or you forgot to do this, or you might want to do this, or you're doing everything great and you just got that. Just stick with it. Don't let them. But if you come to the table, I'll coach and threw my shit out. What shit? Was it my shit? Did you have shit? Was it shit? So we got nothing to work with. And then for me, I sit down like 3 hours later, maybe we might get, no, we're not getting anywhere as long as the fear is running, is running the program. The fear is running the program. And I'll tell you right now, I don't work real well with that, with the fear program running and stuff. So people, I'll tell you that right now. And not really well. I've been trying to work on a little bit. But as a coach, if you can't use the fear for fuel, then you're getting in the team's way. And that's kind of, that's like a slap in the face, and keeping it real is how it is. Because there's a lot of people that line up to kick these people in the face and do what needs to be done. You don't want anybody stepping on your back. You're welcome, Eddie. I didn't know if you guys can tell that I do love my job. I don't know about you, Quentin. What about you? You throw it on there. You're here. I mean, I got you. You just came in while I was talking. Well, somebody was talking. There's 3 people up here, maybe 6. There may be 2 on each. No, man, we got everybody that's over there. Sometimes I miss somebody coming down, but I'm to the end of the program today, so I'm not too. I'm getting hungry, so I'm gonna let you guys go and go to their website and send me some money. Now, one of the things y'all need to be doing for everybody is getting the package, the Clouds title. I think it's like $150 or something. It has the notice of the notice, the judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance and the judicial notice of less pendants, which is styled just like a regular document that you actually file in your case if there's a case against you, and then you can turn that into the notice of less pendants, the notice of judicial conveyance, and the notice of less pendants that you would place in the public record over there next to the deed. But if they have a case against you, the most important thing in my head is to get that shit filed in your case. So it's like putting them all on yeah. Oh, it's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful, and that's what we did with all 4 of the people that have. That wasn't the only thing that blocked the eviction process, and 2 of them, and the sheriff had showed up twice. The RICO package is kicking it. Okay, guys, later.